chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love it. That's exactly what they want to do right now.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
York University's Tate McKenzie Athletic Center. The final game of this Canadian National Basketball Championships is the 17U gold medal match featuring Ontario and British Columbia. 4 medals handed out already today here in Toronto where the boys tournament is taking place. Alberta claimed bronze in both the 15U and 17U brackets. Ontario's 15U team secured gold just 30 minutes ago with a convincing win over Quebec, who took home silver. JJ Evison, Haley Hopkinson here for the final game on the slate. Following this, the closing ceremonies. We will have that for you as well. Will Ontario's 17U team be able to do the same as the 15U squad, or are the boys from Canada's West Coast, British Columbia, up to the challenge? Let's start with the top-seeded Ontario side. Plenty of players pop up from the lineup today, Haley, but you want to put the spotlight on Sammy Uran.
Absolutely. What perfect timing of you saying that, JJ, as we've got a spotlight to introduce the players today. Sammy Uras absolutely went off in that last game. 15 points, 6 for 11 from the field goal. He has had an impact all throughout this entire Nationals. It doesn't matter if he's not the one scoring. If he's on that court, you are going to see an elevated level of play from this Team Ontario team. He had a great game, but what's been so exciting about the Team Ontario squad is every game somebody new is stepping up, taking the lead with points. But aside from the points leader, you can look to Phoenix Wise and Jordan Charles for some consistent basketball throughout this game. And if one of them are having a good game, it's going to be a good day.
British Columbia counter with some good size and length, a team attribute that has caused trouble for Ontario here over the past week. Equally effective for British Columbia is a 6'4" guard from Langley, BC, Logan Stewart.
Logan Stewart, he really just has it all. He's got the height, he can work the paint, he's got the three-point shot as well. He had a crushing 23 points against Alberta in their last game. He was 4 for 7 from the three-point line, 11 for 13 from field goal. He is really someone that you can rely on that court. He can do absolutely everything. His strong suit is definitely working that paint, and if he's open for the three-point shot, you can definitely look to him. He's got some fantastic teammates along him. Torin Franklin, someone you can always rely on. He pushes that ball great, but also has a killer three-point shot. And Dorian Glockovic, he had a great performance as well in the 20s with points, and this is going to be a fantastic game.
Starting lineups beginning with the Ontario squad in the white uniforms, red accents. Jordan Charles, Quinton Ethier, Phoenix Wise, Malik Giuseppe Kitson, Callum Smith. Countering Team British Columbia, Dorian Glogovic, Torin Franklin, Logan Stewart, Justin Heinrichsen, and Tyler Felt. Tip-off is underway. Today's officials for this gold medal match are crew chief Eric Lamb, Noel Parker, and Tyler Seal, as Ontario open the scoring. Malik Giuseppe Kitson getting to work early.
A good start for both of these teams is absolutely crucial. We know that they can both battle back, but it's the gold medal game. No one wants to be in that deficit early on.
Glogovic off the mark, saved. Stewart kicks it out. Heinrichsen, handoff, Felt, dummied the bucket.
What Team Ontario is looking from their bigs today is to play big basketball. Use your body, use the space that you can grab from that.
Charles with the handoff to Ethier. That pass intercepted, out on the run, all alone. And the bucket is good. Logan Stewart, British Columbia have the early lead. Here's Charles over the timeline. Ethier and Wise now. Gives it back to Ethier. Feet set, shots up, bottom.
That's something he can definitely use throughout this game is Quinton Ethier. For that three-point shot, getting him started early in this game is crucial.
Glogovic, near side, Henriksen. Handoff, Felt. Callum Smith there to change the trajectory, but not good enough. Tyler Felt, 4 points in the opening minutes for British Columbia. Thanks for tuning in on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. We hope you enjoy the broadcast. Callum Smith called for the moving screen. Scratch that. Malik Giuseppe Kitson picks up the foul. Felt over the timeline. It's a one-on-one with Smith. Smith staying with him. Phoenix Wise there as well. Good ball movement on the perimeter. BC open look. Dead on. Torin Franklin.
He is going to be someone Ontario needs to lock down early in this game. He'll be able to pull that three on a second notice from anywhere on the court.
Jordan Charles trying to move around the big man, Tyler Felt. And British Columbia pick up a foul. Here's Charles over to the far side. Ethier back up to the top. Charles downhill, elevates, finger roll, no good. Rebound fought for. Coming away was Stewart. Now to Glogovic on the lob to Felt. Two white jerseys there. Stepping out of bounds was Felt. Turnover, British Columbia, Ontario with a chance to cut into the 4-point lead here early. 7:36 remaining, first quarter. Slow pace for Ontario here at the beginning stages of this gold medal game. Phoenix Wise takes the handoff into the paint. Finger roll, no. Gets his own rebound. Right back up. That time there's contact, and Wise will head to the free throw line.
And if there's one thing you can count on Phoenix Wise for, it's to pick up the energy, pick up the team morale. We've talked about it multiple times. He could be possibly the happiest person on this planet from the way he acts. He's had some big games being that scoring leader. You got the chance to talk to him as well. And he's prepared for this. He was on this team before. He knows what the pressure is like being here, and he's definitely someone that leads this team.
Yeah, Phoenix Wise struck me as just a very positive soul. And obviously that gets turned off in a heated game like a gold medal game, but underneath it all is a very sweet kid who's got a big future in the game of basketball, multi-sport athlete as well. Glogovic from the corner. They're going to call Wise on the contact. So Dorian Glogovic here, number 4 for British Columbia, heads to the free throw line. Still looking for his first points of the game, and we get a double substitution early from head coach Tyrone Bramble of Ontario. Sammy Uraz and Ian McBride also checking in.
Glogovic during provincials this year averaged 24 points per game. So having a big performance from him, we've seen him kind of progress throughout nationals, maybe starting off a little bit slower, but in the last game and the game before that, he's been really picking it up. So a big performance is something we're expecting to see from him here, because we know he's got it in him.
British Columbia double up Ontario here at the 17U gold medal game early in the first quarter. Charles slowly over the timeline. McBride keeps. Looks up Felt. Now the handoff. Charles turns the corner. Attracts three. Blocked at the top. The rejection from Stewart. And Justin Henriksen gives the ball up to Torrin Franklin. Works to his right in the corner. Stewart, feet set, shots up, back iron, poked away. Another chance, British Columbia. Here's Franklin inside, kicks to the corner. Henriksen, he's a shooter. You got to close out on shooters.
Absolutely. He is definitely a massive threat. Pressureful situations are something he's used to, having his father, Eric Henriksen, be an Olympian at the 2000 Sydney Olympics and also a two-time U Sport National MVP for the University of Victoria. He has had some big performances, at least from the games that we've called for sure. And it just, with Ontario having the size advantage here, it's kind of easy for BC to slip through some of these cracks and have just open looks that maybe Ontario isn't seeing.
So Ontario, the first to call a timeout, head coach Tyrone Bramble, not liking the start from his squad. They've given up 15 points to British Columbia early. British Columbia shooting 71% from the field, 5 of 7, 2 of 3 from deep, and have made all 3 free throws. Every single statistical category favoring British Columbia. And there they are in the huddle. The team from BC just working on all cylinders. Doesn't matter who's getting the ball. Head coach Trevor Pride keeping his team involved in this one, telling them continue the ball movement, I would imagine. What other things might he be saying to this BC squad, Haley?
I think it really is about closing out on those shooters. With the research that I know Team Ontario has done for this BC squad, you can see that they are a three-point shooter, not working too much in the paint.
Charles on the far side for Ontario. Action up top. Uraz with the handoff to Wise. Turns the corner, spin move into the paint. 1-2 step block, Tyler Felt. That ball hits out of bounds, so Ontario will maintain possession. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 6:17 remaining in quarter number 1.
Tyler Felt in this first quarter is Ontario's biggest obstacle, and they need to figure out how to overcome him easily and quickly.
Uraz near the timeline, hands off, keeps. Handoff, fake, keep, Wise up, basket good. A little bit of pressure here from Ontario. Uraz ahead of the pack, has a couple trailers. Stripped. Logan Stewart with the clean strip. Correction. Franklin with the strip. Stewart with the bucket. BC up 9. McBride picks up the dribble in a little bit of trouble. Gives it to Charles. Charles works around the screen. Whip pass to the corner, intercepted. Kept alive, and now Felt pushing the pace. Henriksen left alone. Time, bucket. BC ballooning this lead early. It's up to 12.
It would make sense if BC kind of had a mentality of the underdog mentality, and here they're the only team from BC to be representing in the gold medal game.
Wise into the paint. That time there's contact on the swat from Logan Stewart. Stewart checks his nose for blood. He's going to go to the bench. Try and get that fixed. You see the replay there. Just missed the contact. But Phoenix Wise now at the line. Frank Linder subs in for British Columbia. Logan Stewart gets some attention to that nose.
This is Phoenix Wise' third year playing for Team Ontario. So looking for some guidance early on in this game, the guys will definitely be turning to him.
The half-court heave, no good. Wise comes away with it. Ontario back on the offensive side. All the way to the basket. Can't get the finish. British Columbia pushing. Felt, one-touch pass. From the bench, can't get it to go. Charles tries to swat it forward. That's swallowed up. Dancing, putting the moves on Phoenix Wise, getting space, elevating, no good. Off the fingertips of Franklin. Now it's Charles the other way. Caleb Roberts, near wing, collects it. Into traffic. The handoff to Ethier. Deflected by Glogovic. And here come British Columbia again. Another three from Linder off the mark. More than halfway through quarter number one. Team Ontario trail by 10. They have played from behind, are used to it this week. Not very frequently, I might add. This basketball game is a 40-minute game. Caleb Roberts steps into one off the front of the iron. McBride tries to swipe it away. BC back on the push. Glogovic, baseline. Hook pass. Feet set. Shots up off the mark. Ethier corrals the loose ball. That ball intended for Jordan Charles, but Justin Henriksen gets a finger on it. And there's Frank Linder right next to Caleb Roberts. Quinton Ethier now working his way towards the bench. Ethier will take it out on the side. 2022 U15 participant, gold medal recipient Quinton Ethier, one of 3 Ridley College Tigers represented here at this tournament. His teammates, of course, Callum Smith, Caleb Roberts. Here's Ethier. Attacks the paint. Uses the backboard, doesn't get it to go, but he'll see 2 from the free throw line.
Seeing Alex Mounsey on that floor for Team Ontario is definitely a good sign that they're really understanding that defense is a massive issue right here. He was challenged with the task of guarding Ryder English from Newfoundland, someone who has a dagger 3, and now he'll be able to kind of shut down over there. And as for Quinton Ethier, he's been doing very good on that defensive end, grabbing some of those boards, and he does, like we said before, have that dagger 3-pointer, so getting that more unlocked and getting him some more open looks will definitely be a key to finishing out this quarter.
Ethier good on the second. British Columbia get it in. Torrin Franklin dances with it over the timeline into the corner. Glogovic works by his defender. Hook pass, Tyler Felt, backboard good. British Columbia again doubling up Ontario. Charles uses the screen set by Alex Muncy. Caleb Roberts, McBride now at the top. Not a traditional 3-point shooter, so he hands it off to Ethier, and that one careens off the board and foul on the floor. Ian McBride calls for the body. So Team Ontario's U15 team just won gold here. The boys, the girls won gold out on the West Coast. Ontario's U17 team up 37-34 against Quebec late in the third. We'll let you know how that plays out. Blake Pye in for BC. The corner, Glogovic. Defender in the air, side step 3, nothing but nylon. Perimeter shooting. Part of the strength of this British Columbia team early in the first quarter, 2:35 remaining. Roberts, hands off, Muncy. McBride now, top side. Charles wants it. Roberts from the left, into the paint. Turning back, fading away, mid-range, no. Last touch by McBride. British Columbia basketball.
BC, everyone on that court seems to be really stepping up right now, playing their own game, but also doing such a great job of communicating and passing on that floor and just absolutely collapsing on Team Ontario's offense. And as for Team Ontario, we're still looking for somebody to step up.
Almost losing that is Felt. He gets it into the corner. It's a double team. Down low, Henriksen. Turning, Glogovic, finger roll. Front lip, no. Here's Charles. It's a 3-on-3. Malik Giuseppe Kitson. 3 strong strides and a hammer throwdown. Malik Giuseppe Kitson.
We talk about this moment all the time. Maybe that was the moment to energize Team Ontario here.
Henriksen doesn't get the corner three to go. BC get the offensive rebound, have another look. It's a 12-point game in favor of BC, a minute 30 remaining in the opening quarter. Near side three from the wing, off the mark from Pai. Uraz with the crossover, gets Glogovic reaching. Fourth team foul. Let's take another look at that Glogovic finger roll just off the front of the iron.
So close there. And then right here to Malik Giuseppe Kitson. He is powerful at that rim. That's something that he is always doing when we got to see him in training camp during practice. Just dunking. Obviously, he's a little more flashier than the other guys, loves to show off that power and skill, but when it goes, and he did a great job of that.
United Scholastic is lucky to have Malik Giuseppe Kitson. Here's Uraz from the free throw line. It's now an 11-point game, and British Columbia turn it over. Ontario's starting to feel like they have some room to work with.
Yep, and it was right after that dunk. Maybe that's kind of the, hey, we're in a gold medal game right now. Let's pull out the big guns.
Jordan Charles, baseline into two bodies, step back all alone, mid-range Jimmy back iron out. It's Franklin with the rebound. Franklin pushing the pace. Near side, Henriksen. That one intended for Franklin, swallowed up by Charles. Not too sure who he's trying to pass it to or give it to himself. Torin Franklin, Euro stepping. Caleb Roberts gets a hand on it, but also on the arm. Shooting foul. British Columbia with a chance to extend this 11-point lead.
Caleb Roberts is first personal foul, fourth team foul.
Torin Franklin was the starting point guard for the 2022 U15 Nationals team, where they ended up medaling there. He had 12 points and 6 assists, 4 rebounds in that final game. So he's used to this, he understands the pressure, but what he does so well is create shots for his teammates, but also understanding that he is one of the best scorers on this team, so he takes those shots when he feels like he needed to.
The 12-point lead, British Columbia. Malik Giuseppe Kitson accepts the pass from Charles into the paint. Strong take, count the bucket and the foul.
Like we were saying earlier, somebody always steps up in these games, and right now it seems to be Malik Giuseppe Kitson. He's just so powerful, and he understands how to play these really physical games. And with Tyler Felt down there, look at this right here. Just goes up so strong, is able to twist around to find that right angle for the and one.
Of course, Giuseppe Kitson, the MVP at the ACG Next Ones Up tournament for Team White. And these guys have built some bonds against each other. It'll be interesting to see them play one another next year in the OBA and the OSBA. The deep three off the mark. Giuseppe Kitson with the rebound. It's a 4-on-3 behind the back. Kitson to the corner. Charles to the rack. Up and under. That one a little too soon. Kitson, boom, gets the putback, shrugs the shoulders, shaking off the opponent.
And that is also why he was on the U17 Team Canada FIBA World Cup 2024.
The near side, it's Logan Stewart. 11 seconds remain in the opening quarter. Frank Linder working on Alex Muncy. Good job, Muncy staying with him. Giuseppe Kitson gets to the assignment. It's a little too late as Justin Heinrichsen ends the first quarter with a 3 from downtown. British Columbia lead 29-18 after 10 minutes of play. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more action from the 17U gold medal game. Stick with us.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love it. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That
Welcome back inside the Tate McKenzie Center here at York University's main gymnasium. British Columbia lead 29-18. You mentioned Tyler Felt, but what about the performance of Logan Stewart so far?
Logan Stewart, he just stays consistent on that floor. He has a very strong impact on both ends. Another one right there, Torin Franklin, also having major impact in this game. And of course, Justin Heinrichsen, those guys never really fall off. They've been growing and developing throughout all of nationals and know how to maintain a game.
So Quebec strike first, or British Columbia strike first in the second quarter. Uraz thought about the shot, now into the paint. 1-2 step and trying the backboard, no. There to clean up the glass was Alex Muncy.
Alex Muncy's going to be he has a massive task ahead of him, and that's to really lock down what he thinks the biggest problem is right now on that BC.
And there he is, causing a turnover. So Alex Muncy in this second quarter gets the 2 points, causes the turnover. A good 40 seconds of basketball. Caleb Roberts, the neon green kicks. Picks up the dribble, has it to Charles now on the near side. No movement for Ontario, so Charles shoots the three. That's off the mark. Stagnant possession after stagnant possession for Ontario. Something's got to change.
I think what needs to change is the confidence with Jordan Charles. We've seen it before. The whole game really thrives when he's thriving himself, when he can kind of get into his own rhythm. He helps out everybody on that court. So looking to get him some open looks so he can start to settle into this game is very important.
Another full court press for Ontario leads to a turnover for British Columbia. Phoenix Wise steps in for Jordan Charles. Maybe a spark of energy here from Coach Tyrone Brambles, Team Ontario. Caleb Roberts kicks it out, Muncy. Working on Felt. Muncy steps into the lane, blocked at the top by Felt. His presence has been felt here early in the game.
That was good.
Glogovic from the free throw line. Doesn't get the shooter's touch. Giuseppe Kitson to Roberts. And now Ontario have numbers, pushing the pace. Roberts downhill, right into the lane. Scoop score, yes. Timeout on the floor. British Columbia calls that as we take another look at the run out here.
Right here, Caleb Roberts, he goes in and dribbles with so much confidence, those two steps there and the layup off the side. Those guys practice that a lot because they know they're not always going to be able to grab a perfect layup.
So British Columbia needing to talk things over here as slowly Ontario's pulling themselves back into the game. As we take a look at the scores, Malik Giuseppe Kitson leads Ontario with 8, trails Justin Heinrichsen by 1 in the game. But it's been scoring by committee for British Columbia. Franklin with 6, Felt with 6. And they're just sharing the ball the way good basketball should be played.
So perfectly, and they all help bring their own kind of shot and element to this team, but they just do such a good job with meshing it all together and really helping each other out to get those looks that they all know that one person can hit perfectly.
Caleb Roberts leaves the huddle. Another 2022 U15 gold medalist. He averaged 18.2 points, 6 boards, and nearly 6 assists for Ridley College last season. Stripped from behind, Ethier gets a hand on it. Phoenix Wise has one to beat. It's Franklin. Right-handed scoop score. Yes, Phoenix Wise. Justin Henriksen behind the back, working on Giuseppe Kitson, gets the first step, finds some more space, kicks it to a moving Torin Franklin, and British Columbia looking a little disconnected.
Definitely, and I think a big part of that is seeing how dominant Giuseppe Kitson has been so far. He's doing a great job, and I'm loving that matchup of Justin Henriksen with him.
Roberts to Ethier, back to Roberts, who cut the corner really nice, kicks it back out. Giuseppe Kitson all sorts of time. Follows his shot, gets his own rebound, spins into the lane, foul called, shooting, and back to the line for Malik Giuseppe Kitson.
That's the best part about his game, is he's never going to leave an offensive possession where he's that involved empty-handed. Just look right here, grabs his own rebound, goes in so strong that although the shot didn't go, he's able to draw that contact to try to put 2 more up for this Team Ontario.
Shooting, number 11, 13, Malik Kitson.
Each and every game, this 17U Ontario team has had somebody else stepped up. I've talked to Jordan Charles. I've talked to Quinton Ethier. I've talked to Sammy Uraz. Every single day it's somebody new. I've talked to Phoenix Wise. Today it's Malik Giuseppe Kitson's day, or so it seems here early in this gold medal game.
And it feels like he's been waiting for this.
Misses the second. Henriksen swallows up the rebound. British Columbia pushing the pace. Glogovic gonna slow things down. Glogovic gets trapped, throws it away. There's no one there. Charles has it. Inviting contact, none going to be there. Finger roll finish, Jordan Charles. And Jordan Charles does a good job getting tight on Torin Franklin. And those are the intangible things that Charles contributes to winning.
Totally. It doesn't matter if he's not the highest scorer. He's always going to have an impact by helping his team out in every which way possible. I think that right there was kind of the spark to reignite his game here and play like the Jordan Charles we all saw. He's dropped 33 points before. We want to see him.
Phoenix Wise, no hesitation. Off the backboard, rims out. British Columbia control the possession. Wise on Glogovic. Good footwork. Glogovic gets into the lane. No good. Rebound, Alex Muncy. Here's Wise. Charles, that one intercepted. Everybody in the gym knew where that ball was going. Felt might have gotten away with the travel there. Malik Giuseppe Kitson with the block. But there's a foul on the play. As we wait word from the official if that'll be on Giuseppe Kitson. No, it goes on Wise. Ontario have worked themselves back into this game. It's now a 4-point lead, British Columbia. Linder's first attempt misses.
Frank Linder's a great addition to this team. He was named to the U16 West EYBL roster in his grade 11 year. He was also named Athlete of the Year. He's just a very athletic person to have on this roster for BC.
0 for 2 on the trip. Muncy ahead of the pack, dribbles off his foot and out of bounds. Got a little too excited at the opportunity for a bucket. There was a lane. More pressure, Team Ontario. 6:48 remains in the opening half. 17U gold medal game here at the Canadian National Championships. We hope you're enjoying this broadcast. That football pass sails about 3 rows deep. Luckily, everyone's paying attention.
And that's just what the pressure of Team Ontario can really put on them right away. I think applying more pressure and aggressiveness from Team Ontario will help them kind of stay in this one.
For those of you watching looking for an update on the U17 women's final, Ontario lead 44-40, 7:22 remaining. We appreciate you tuning in here on Canada Basketball Live. Quinton Ethier, left-handed finish. Wise causing some trouble in the backcourt. Cross-court pass into the corner. Henriksen closed out by Charles. British Columbia have to reset. Torrin Franklin off the front of the iron. That one tapped out. British Columbia doing a good job on the offensive glass. Here's Henriksen, picks up the dribble, in a little bit of trouble. Hands it off. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. That shot well off. Charles keeps it, but gives it right to British Columbia. Malik Giuseppe Kitson able to knock it loose. The results of the play, 2 points for Frank Linder. Here's Giuseppe Kitson putting the moves on and fouled again. Giuseppe Kitson going to go back to the free throw line. He likes it himself.
It's a great case scenario for him because with that play, he either gets the power to get that dunk in or he gets the power to draw the contact.
Third team foul on British Columbia. 5:33 remaining in the half.
Shooting is number 13, Pauline Kitson.
Big deep breath for Giuseppe Kitson. Never want to lose a game on missed free throws, but
No.
misses the first. And another thing about Quinton Ethier, he's always got the guys huddling up, and he's probably the team's biggest supporter. And
Yeah.
each of the players on this Ontario team, he's the biggest cheerleader for them.
Definitely.
I mean, aside from the parents and maybe
Yeah.
the coaches.
And maybe Phoenix.
And
off the
maybe,
court.
yeah, true.
On the court, he's locked in and serious, though.
Torrin Franklin finds space on Muncie. That jumper's pure. Leads back up to 6. British Columbia ahead as we approach the halfway mark of the second quarter. Jordan Charles trying to put the moves on. Gets it to Muncie. Muncie, right-handed finish. Muncie now 4 points, 2 boards. The gamble by Malik Giuseppe Kitson to swat that one out of the hands of Keone Sacco. Going to result in a foul.
On Team Ontario's number 12, Phoenix Wise. His third was the foul of the game. Second team foul.
So they're going to call that on Phoenix Wise, but it looked like Giuseppe Kitson was the only player in the vicinity. Alex Muncie checks out. Sammy Uraz back in. Torrin Franklin, jump stop, nice swat. Malik Giuseppe Kitson at the top, but there's contact on the play, and Logan Stewart will head to the free throw line.
Foul called on Team Ontario's number 13, Molly Kitson.
Now Malik Giuseppe Kitson picks up that foul. So head coach Tyrone Bramble is going to have to do some thinking about this lineup with both Giuseppe Kitson and Wise having 3 fouls. Of course, in the international rules, you only get 5 per game. You want to use those wisely. Not too sure those two gentlemen have in the first half.
They've got a deep, deep, deep roster, but it's just about figuring out those dynamics and what they can do to bring out the best in this team if they do end up running into trouble.
Here's Charles turning the corner. Uraz. Wise now on the far side, trying to get into the paint. Patience, right-handed finish, no, gets his own rebound, right back up. That one blocked at the summit. Another rebound and another opportunity for Wise. This time the contact's going to be on the shot. He gives the double thumbs up to the referee. Phoenix Wise going to work. So that'll be the 4th team foul on British Columbia. Keone Sacco gets his second. Number 10 for British Columbia, so he'll check out. Back in Tyler Felt. So
Phoenix Wise and that Team Ontario squad never giving up on the possession until it's either on the other side of the court or in the net.
Wise with a good follow through. Sacco checks out. Just to have a quick word with head coach Trevor Pride. And following that made free throw, he will check back in for Tyler Felt. Wise checks out. In comes Callum Smith. More pressure, Team Ontario. The full court heave. Directed right to Wise. And Callum Smith throws it away. They were just able to force a turnover here, Team Ontario was. Let's see if they can do it a second time. Looks like they'll let up a little bit. Muncie pushing the pace. Henriksen has somebody far side. No, keeps. Franklin. A little shimmy shake into the corner. Henriksen works baseline. Smith's there to meet him. Far corner. Shots up. Blake Pye. Nothing but nylon.
As you can all definitely tell by now, BC, their strong point on this team is definitely that three-point shooting. Everybody on this team can absolutely nail them, so closing out on them is going to be so crucial for Team Ontario.
Uraz with the find on Callum Smith. And you saw Uraz in the corner there wave everybody off. He wanted that one-on-one matchup, got the step when the help defense came. Who's open? Callum Smith. No one in the vicinity of Logan Stewart. He misses. Uraz with the rebound. Ahead to Charles. Muncie ahead of the pack. Fouls called. Charging. Feet were set well in advance by Logan Stewart and Alex Muncie. With the turnover, Ontario trail by 5. The fourth team foul for the guys in white. 3:09 remaining.
We'll take another look at this right here. Yeah, his feet were planted. It looked like Alex Muncie didn't necessarily think that was the case, so he went in a little bit more on that contact, hoping to get a foul there, but that's unfortunate for that one, but BC doing a good job of recognizing the contact coming.
Henriksen on the near wing. Cross-court pass. Faked into the paint. Kicked back out. Torrin Franklin's got the touch. And Team Ontario seemed to be a step behind on the defensive end. Muncie gives it up. Charles calls Smith up, uses the screen, finds the roller. Smith to the basket, gets the roll for 2 points. Callum Smith coming in, making an impact second quarter minutes. Franklin gets it over. Ball finds itself in the corner. That shot off the mark. Here goes Charles. It's a 1-on-3. There's teammates behind him. Picks it up. Blocked by Henriksen. Uraz at the top of the key, happy to slow it down. 14 on the shot clock. Here's Ethier. Ethier's got the size mismatch, takes it in, and the reach in. So shooting free throws here, Quinton Ethier. There's contact on the arm for British Columbia. It's Calvin Kuzik with the foul.
Quinton Ethier, another one of those guys on that U17 World Cup roster this year, so he got a chance to work with a lot of these guys already this summer because they've got about 4 or 5 of these guys on this team. That's definitely why Team Ontario has been absolutely so dominant. They've got to be playing against some tougher competition internationally. And of course, one of those Ridley guys as well.
The first minutes here for Isaiah Lukuza. Muncie heads to the bench. Gymnasium here is packed at York University's Tate McKenzie Athletic Center. Torrin Franklin gets away with the push off, the 3 off the mark. Uraz going to be called for the push in the back. Free throws upcoming, British Columbia.
Foul was on Team Ontario is number 10, Sammy Uraz. His first was a foul.
Torrin Franklin, 11 points in the game on 4 of 7 shooting to go with 3 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals.
Shooting is number 11, Frank Linder.
Frank Linder at the line from Nanaimo, BC.
Second shot,
5-point lead, British Columbia. They can't seem to pull away from Ontario. They've had multiple opportunities. Caleb Roberts into the paint. Kicks it to the corner. There's Lukuza. Lukuza, Jimmy from the baseline, no good. Loose ball, fought for, no. British Columbia comes up with it. Linder hands it off. Heinrichsen, near side, guarded by Ethier. Good footwork by Ethier. Here's Linder. Tries to get into the paint, nothing there. Franklin misses everything. Lukuza. Ontario have numbers. What's the play? Uraz, kickback, Roberts. Baseline. Looking for the big man, Smith. The reach-in foul sends Smith to the line. With 1:03 remaining, Ontario trail by 5.
Number 6, Calvin Kuzik.
Calvin Kuzik picks up his second foul in the matter of minutes.
We'll look again right here. Caleb Roberts doing a great job passing it in there, but as you can see, he's just getting swallowed up in that paint, reaching in. So he's at the line now.
First one off the iron. Big rebound. The second off the front of the iron. Two white jerseys fighting for the rebound. British Columbia come away with it. We're at the 1-minute mark left in the first half. Here's Frank Linder moving downhill. Henriksen thought about it. Instead, pulls it back out. Torrin Franklin. Henriksen, flare screen, shots up. Shots off the iron. Lukuza corrals the loose board. Here's Roberts into the front court. Does Ontario go for the 2-for-1? Caleb Roberts, 1-2 step off the glass. Callum Smith with the rebound and the putback.
He definitely has these games where that matchup just works so well for him, and that being in that paint can definitely help him.
Hounding defense from Caleb Roberts sees British Columbia step out of bounds. And so Ontario have the ball with 24 seconds remaining in the half, trailing 3. Torrin Franklin's been doing it all for British Columbia. As we step aside for a quick break, more 17U gold medal action coming at the 15U, 17U National Basketball Champions here, York University. We'll be right back.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
The second quarter belongs to Ontario. They're ahead 23-15 on the boys from British Columbia. Upcoming free throws. No, it's a turnover out of bounds, apologies. So Ontario have it with around 24 seconds left. They can let the clock run out and get the last look, or they can get a look, hopefully go for a strip steal and get another one. They trail 3 here. This is not necessarily a need 3 situation.
No.
They just want a good look, whatever the British Columbia defense gives. Here's Caleb Roberts. There's 10 on the shot clock. Works around McBride. 4 seconds left. Roberts dials it from deep. That one off the iron. Rebound fought for. Loose ball on the ground. McBride gets it, puts it back up for 2. Time continues to wind down, and the first half comes to an end. Ontario storming back in the second quarter, outscoring British Columbia by 10, but trail by 1. Haley, what a back and forth game.
It absolutely has been. I know both of these teams have done their research on each other, and I know BC is expecting to see a different squad come out of Ontario out of this half. That's just something that it just is a theme with all of their games. They trail a little bit at the beginning sometimes, go into that locker room, refresh the mindset. These coaches are so demanding from them, and these guys will deliver their message. As for BC, I'm sure their message in that locker room is going to be keep the foot on the pedal. Those 3-pointers have been coming out like crazy, and that's going to be the key to them taking this game.
British Columbia lead at the half by 1. Refill your drinks, grab some snacks. More from the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center coming up following the halftime intermission. We'll be back after this.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Shift in the left hand scoop finish.
Start leading in tennis, Brown Barron.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Shift in the left hand scoop finish.
Start leading in tennis, Brown Barron.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Shift in the left hand scoop finish.
Start leading in tennis, Brown Barron.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Just in the left hands, you finish.
Arlene Tennis proud parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Just in the left hands, you finish.
Arlene Tennis proud parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching these heroes. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Just in the left hands, you finish.
Arlene Tennis proud parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love these Zeros. That's exactly what they want to do, right?
He shifted and left hands, you finish.
Arlene and Dennis Brown parents.
Welcome back inside the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center. Here is your game summary from the first half. British Columbia up by 1. A couple of statistical categories here favoring British Columbia, but Ontario very much in this game.
Absolutely. What's sticking out to me right now is just looking at those turnovers and how they are even right now, almost. But those are going to play a massive factor into this second half. Both teams obviously not going to want to add any more to that right now. Obviously blocks, looking at British Columbia, everyone in that paint putting the work in absolutely. Tyler Felt having a massive presence in that paint. Definitely keeping British Columbia in this game and ahead because they're not allowing Team Ontario into there. And Torrin Franklin doing just a fantastic job so far. His 3-point is absolutely on point right now. That is definitely safe to say. Look at him right now practicing a little bit as well too. He is definitely not only the 3-point leader of this team, but just the overall leader, it feels like.
The scoring leader for sure, 11 points on 4 of 9 shooting to go with 3 boards, 2 assists, and 3 steals. On the other side, Ontario's player that they're looking for is Jordan Charles. He's not getting the scoring done, but it's the intangibles and the other ways he's impacting the game here, Haley.
Absolutely, and we knew we could see that from him. Only 2 points so far, but it doesn't matter when he's got 2 steals, 4 assists, 2 rebounds as well, both defensive. His impact on this game is absolutely essential. Of course, the scoring everyone would love to see that pick up a little bit as well, but as long as he remains doing what he's doing, Team Ontario definitely has the skills and a deep roster to be able to pick up the slack.
We told you we'd keep you updated on what's going on out in Newfoundland. Ontario's U17 team did collect the gold with a 55-45 victory. So this 17U Ontario team led by number 5, Jordan Charles, looking to complete the 4-peat. Could all 4 gold medals end up here in Ontario? We have 20 minutes at a minimum. British Columbia hoping to put a stop to that. In that huddle, take us inside. What are the keys to the second half for this British Columbia side, Haley?
The keys to the game right now is keeping that ball movement intact on their offense. Of course, we're going to look to Team Ontario to try to cause havoc in their own defensive zone. But the ball movement coming from from BC right now is just absolutely insane. Getting those open looks, of course. And then looking on defense as well. Right now, they have Team Ontario has some power, especially coming from Malik Giuseppe-Kidson, looking to really shut down anything that's coming within the perimeter, forcing them to be uncomfortable and take those outside shots.
Team Ontario, their huddle is probably going a little bit differently. They're unable to get looks at the rim as easy as they have in the past. Walk me through what you think head coach Tyrone Bramble's talking about.
I think he's honestly nailing them right now for every turnover that has happened so far. I think that is a big part of their game that they absolutely want to eliminate. We were talking about this earlier, and we've seen it in another game. The score is tight, but this doesn't feel like Team Ontario. We know what they can bring. We were with them for Media Day, with them for the beginning of that training camp. We know they've got so much more in that bag, and I think, honestly, looking at Callum Smith a little bit more in that paint is going to be so crucial, and as long as he can go up with control, that's the biggest thing for Callum Smith, it looks like to me. I think he needs more control when he's grabbing those rebounds, going down strong, going up even stronger, because he'll either grab that contact or get the bucket.
In a 15-kilometer race, which this week has felt like the final 100 meters is often the toughest stretch. Will it be Ontario taking home another gold medal, or can BC push this lead into something that is far beyond what Ontario can overcome? 10 minutes on the clock for the third quarter. Again, thank you for joining us on Basketball Canada's YouTube page. It's JJ Evison, Haley Hopkinson with you on the call, Jackson Vidori, and Cole Hayes joining us after this game to go through the closing ceremonies. We'll have reports on what Clyde Nemhard has to say, some Canada basketball representation here, but back to the action. Sammy Uraz, tough take, tough make, big bucket, Sammy Uraz.
And he stepped up last game being that player of the game, and it's just so great to see him carry that over into this game, because that's the most important part, what you can do with it after.
Felt gets away with a hook on Smith, gets to the rack, good for 2. Here comes Charles traipsing down the right-hand side. Charles to Smith on the block. Smith working on Felt. The fadeaway, no. Uraz there for the rebound. He can't get up. Gets it to Charles. Charles, he's got Ethier, kicks it out. Ethier up off the front of the iron. Loose ball. Foul's going to go on Uraz. First team foul for Ontario comes at the 9:14 mark of the third quarter. 2 good looks for Ontario, nothing's fallen yet.
That pressure that Team Ontario started to apply a little bit at the end of that half and double teaming that ball handler so early before they even passed that halfway mark is something that I would expect to be seeing a little bit more of in this second half.
Phoenix Wise draped all over his assignment. Felt hands it off. Time and space for Logan Stewart. Short rims it. Charles with the rebound. Pushing the pace. Has Uraz to his right. Keeps moving downhill. Right hand, no. Smith, yes, with the rebound and the putback.
That's something he's so good at and something that is expected from him from this team.
Turnover. Foul's going to go on Dorian Glogovic. Trying to slow down this Ontario team, and they have the lead. It's a 1-point lead, Ontario. Feels like right now, Ontario, now that they have the lead, if they can push it forward, British Columbia will have a hard time coming from behind.
Absolutely.
If Ontario can dictate play. Smith gets it. He's got the size advantage on Felt. And there's another foul on the floor. A hold on Torrin Franklin. So 2 team fouls here on British Columbia.
And we'll also keep an eye on Phoenix Wise, knowing that he's in this game now with 3 personal fouls.
Charles to Wise to Charles. Baseline Jimmy Short. Fighting for the rebound. Phoenix Wise putting his body on the line. Can't get it. It's 2-on-1, but Charles is coming back. Gets the strip. Charles has Wise ahead of the pack. Gives it up. Wise, two-handed flan. No, he just lays it in.
Responsible.
And that's the right play right there. I got a little excited. I thought Phoenix Wise isn't the guy to be showboating. He's the guy that you put in because he does the right play.
Exactly. His basketball IQ is just years ahead of his age.
Second team foul now on Ontario. Callum Smith takes that foul. Ontario ahead 3 as play resumes. British Columbia in the offensive half. A foul away from the ball, so third team foul on Ontario. Phoenix Wise picks up his 4th foul, and that will bring in Alex Muncy.
Alex Muncy can definitely provide the same sort of enthusiasm and the kind of just really strong defense, but obviously losing Phoenix Wise on that team is a massive loss.
The shot's off the mark, but there was no one there to contest it because Quinton Ethier and Alex Muncy were in the middle of switching assignments. And that's another foul going on the way up. So 3 team fouls each side, 7:55 remaining. We're just over 2 minutes, 5 seconds in. Each team has 3 fouls. Does that tell you the discipline needs to change?
Absolutely, that tells me the discipline needs to change. It's especially since they have been off the ball fouls. That's just obviously the aggression, it needs to be there, but you have to do it smartly, or else you're going to be putting your team in unfortunate situations. Because I'm sorry, but no one wants to see a bunch of free throws in this third quarter. I don't.
No. In the championship game, you want to let the players dictate how it comes. Obviously, if you're forced to make the call as an official, you make that call. It's been freezing in this gymnasium all week, and now that it's at full capacity, I had to take off my jacket. It is very warm in here. Logan Stewart down the right-hand side for British Columbia. The handoff, Henriksen. Muncy at the top. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Felt keeps. Felt takes. Swatted by Smith, nothing there. Felt with the finish.
Alex Muncy's doing such a great job at really staying on his on whoever he's defending, and he's just so good.
There's a warning here. Callum Smith, Tyler Felt getting a little physical down the court. Official's going to put a stop to this, and Quinton Ethier, like we talked about, always the guy trying to calm everybody down because An upset, frustrated, negative emotion player is not an impactful player.
No.
And Callum Smith's going to go take a breather on the bench. Ian McBride checks in. The 6'8" power forward from SC Academy. And both sides shooting free throws from here on out. 7:30 left in the third quarter. Sammy Uraz. That's off the mark. Felt can't corral the pass, picks up the loose ball. Uraz swipes down, and the whistles keep on coming. 2 free throws now upcoming. And Sammy Uraz gets the foul. Another MVP on this team. He was the MVP of the Pink City Classic U16 tournament. That team went 6-0. This team looking to stay undefeated. Felt from the free throw line. Off on the first attempt. BC trail by 3. Felt misses the second. McBride grabs the loose ball. Here's Charles over the timeline around the logo. Uses the screen from Muncie. Pulls it back out. Didn't like the look. Uraz, time and space. Right back to Charles. Feet set. Deep 3 off the side. McBride causes havoc. Muncie has the board. Looking for a cutter. Charles is that cutter off the backboard. Good find and good vision from Alex Muncie. Another whistle.
How textbook is that, though? We'll get another look right here. Alex Muncie not panicking, being absolutely surrounded by BC players. Jordan Charles recognizes that, and this is a great play right here.
But what British Columbia didn't do was have active hands. They weren't applying the pressure. They were standing there, but they weren't applying pressure. Felt the other way, and yet another foul. I don't know, they're going to call it a goaltending situation. The official near the half line makes the call. And British Columbia reached the half-century mark. Charles uses the screen, feet set from 3. That's a bottom.
BC's so quick to call a timeout because they know Jordan Charles hits a 3 like that. Welcome to the Jordan Charles Show.
All it takes is one sometimes. All it takes is one. And back-to-back plays, Charles uses that screen set by Alex Muncie. Give him the screen assist, often a play that goes overlooked. Looked more comfortable in that shooting motion, did Charles, to give Ontario this 6-point lead.
He totally did. And he's done such a good job at kind of maintaining what works for him when that shooting isn't happening, which is causing havoc on all ends of the court, getting those steals, forcing turnovers, applying defensive pressure. And the Team Ontario has won games before where there isn't one completely standout shooter, but it makes it definitely an easier process right now if Jordan Charles can get that same performance going.
It's not much different here from Team Ontario. Quinton Ethier has 10, Phoenix Wise 11, Malik Giuseppe Kitson 9, Callum Smith 8. So more scoring by committee, and it's the guys that haven't really contributed too much. Callum Smith is still finding his aggressiveness, and that's really starting to pay off here. You like to see that fire, right, when they had the warning there between Felt and Callum Smith.
Yes.
And that you just have to be able to control those emotions.
Exactly. And I think it was a good thing to call him off, but I'm sure he's not sitting there all giggly and smiley right now. He's ready to come back in and have a vengeance out for Tyler Felt and do everything he can to stop him from scoring, and I'm sure it's the exact same on Tyler Felt's part.
British Columbia's possession, 6:15 remaining in the third quarter. It's Logan Stewart with the handoff. Franklin working on Muncie. Franklin into the paint. Nice defense there by Alex Muncie. Felt working baseline. McBride reaches in, knocks it loose. Good defensive possession. The shot's up at the shot clock expiration by Torrin Franklin. Rebounded Uraz. Here comes Charles, jogging into the front court. Wants McBride on the screen. Wants Muncie on it as well. Chooses the McBride side. Downhill. Blocked at the top. Justin Henriksen. And you get the sense now that Jordan Charles is starting to feel himself.
Yeah, he's ready for it. Absolutely, directing a little bit more traffic around him.
The quick inbound, Ethier back to Charles. Far wing, that rebounds out. Henriksen gives it up. Torrin Franklin streaming down the right-hand side. Whip pass, corner. Stewart inside. McBride there to contest. Not quick enough. Logan Stewart adds to his tally. Now up to 8 points in the game. Charles works to the left now. Handoff. Uraz, time and space. Fakes the shot into the paint. That one interrupted. Charles from the near side. Now baseline looking for McBride on the dish. Instead coughs it up. Walking into a three is a good decision for Torrin Franklin. And then he barks at Alex Muncy.
Yeah. If you were in the last game with us, that would have been a tag.
So British Columbia hanging around. Ontario letting them. Here's Jordan Charles at the top. Trying to figure out which way to go. Downhill, working left, tries to finish right. And then there's a foul called. If you're watching at home, can you just keep a tally for us as many times as I say, and then there's a foul called?
Right? I wish they kept going past the 5 on the scoreboard.
Well, we do have the total personal fouls on the
True.
team.
Got 14 for Ontario right now.
Add one more to British Columbia, makes 17 from their 16. And Charles has the free throw fall right through the twine.
Second foul left, Justin Vincent, shooting number 5, Jordan Charles.
Charles knocks them both down. Logan Stewart's pass off the hands of a teammate and out of bounds. Unable to control that was Keone Sacco, the 6'8 forward from Vancouver. Malik Giuseppe Kitson checks back into the game for Alex Muncy. Giuseppe Kitson 9 points, 5 boards in this contest.
Every time we see him, he's a little bit more taped up. Unless that's just a calf sleeve, is that?
I don't know, but he's playing with it. Moving screen on Jordan Charles. Ontario turned the ball over.
Number 5, Jordan Charles. His first personal foul of the game.
Franklin and Stewart have been playing give and go with each other the entirety of the second half. Here's Stewart. Step back three, bottom. That's his first 3 of the game, believe it or not. Giuseppe Kitson working on one. Has to kick it out. Uraz dribbles it off an opponent's foot. Gets it to Giuseppe Kitson. 9 seconds on the shot clock. McBride comes up for the screen. Uraz fades to the corner. Around the player into the lane. The floater in and out. Another rebound offensively for Jordan Charles. Second chance opportunity is good.
Those difficult plays like that seem to really bring out the best in him.
The other thing, too, he didn't give up on the play there. Didn't hang his head on the missed shot. McBride in the air. Giuseppe Kitson guarding Glogovic. Glogovic able to step around. Can't get it to go. Uraz swallows up the rebound. Here's Jordan Charles downhill. Kicks it out. That pass intended for Ethier. Swallowed up by Franklin. Franklin elevates. Pauses. Bottom. We're all knotted at 60. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Giuseppe Kitson for Ontario calling up Charles. It's an ISO matchup. Top side. Charles moving downhill. Fading away from the mid-range. That's good. You want a bucket?
Yeah.
You want somebody who can go get their own shot? Employ Jordan Charles. The other way, Glogovic into the corner. Henriksen's 3 is up and off the mark. McBride corrals it. Uraz is out. He's got one behind him. Not sure he felt him on the hip. Thought there was contact. Doesn't matter. Play on. Officials have had enough from head coach Tyrone Bramble. He gets teed up. And if he's not careful, he might get tossed. Substitution, Caleb Roberts, Team Ontario in for Sammy Uraz.
And technical foul was given to Team Ontario's coach.
Taking the free throw is Torrin Franklin. And he knocks it down. 17 points in the game for Franklin to lead all scorers. What more could you want from a 17U gold medal game? 62-61 Ontario lead. 2 and change left in the third quarter. Full gymnasium here at York University.
Temperature finally up. I feel like the craziest part about this whole thing is actually remembering that it's U17, especially the U15. You're telling me those are 13-year-olds?
I mean, there are a few of them.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Torrin Franklin working on Charles now. Charles, a good defender. Henriksen on the far side. Gets past Ethier, kicks it to the corner. Shots up, shots good. British Columbia shooting from distance is a thing of beauty in this game. Frank Linder adding to the tally, giving British Columbia back the lead. Caleb Roberts wants to respond with one of his own. That one off the backboard, off the rim, and then out in transition is British Columbia. Franklin shoots one. That one from Victoria. Another one deep. Torrin Franklin, 67-62. British Columbia lead.
You've got to wonder now if Team Ontario is looking to bring in Alex Muncie again, because he did a really great job on shutting down Torrin Franklin as much as he could.
McBride, bounce pass. Ethier can't connect. Other way, Stewart finds Franklin in the corner. Henriksen. That pass for Franklin. Diving on the floor for it was Ethier. Franklin has time and space from just inside the three-point line. Can this kid miss?
I don't know. My favorite thing about BC's game right now, not only those fantastic threes coming from Torrin Franklin, but it's that they really don't let anybody know what their offensive move is going to be until they do it. They don't telegraph anything on the way.
We get another look.
Again. This one, the second one, or that's a two-pointer, but it doesn't matter. The seamlessness that he just takes the step and shoots it all in one fluid motion.
As you saw him head to the huddle there, haven't seen that energy and excitement out of the British Columbia squad since the first quarter when they took a commanding lead. Remember, they outscored Ontario 29-18, and then Ontario responded with a 25-15 quarter. Right now, British Columbia lead in this quarter 25-19, lead in the game by 7. As fans get a little bit of a shimmy shake with the Macarena here in the gymnasium. And British Columbia with that victory last night over Alberta to book their ticket here in this gold medal match.
It was a fantastic game. Alberta obviously has a ton of height on that team and very strong shooters as well. That's a team that has just a very versatile roster, but this BC team came out strong, and that's something they're so good at. It doesn't feel like they ever have a weak point in that game.
So Franklin's up to 22 on the game, 57% from the field on 8 of 14 shooting. That goes along 4 boards, 2 assists, 4 steals. So both sides of the ball, Torrin Franklin's having an impact. How will Ontario respond? Under a minute to remain in the third quarter. It's Charles. Giuseppe Kitson on the near side. Working on Linder, downhill, long strides off the backboard. Foul is called. 2 shots upcoming, Malik Giuseppe Kitson.
That's the thing, it's just his power. He just always has an end target. There's always going to be an end result when he is driving to the net, takes those insanely long strides, uses his body but not his arms, which is the important part there.
Gripped both hands on the ball tightly, and yes, those long strides got him from the free throw line to the glass in 2 strides. The first rims in and out. And how apropos that the biggest challenge for Team Ontario in this tournament comes in the gold medal match. Giuseppe Kitson 1 for 2 on the trip. Dorian Glogovic over the timeline. Sized up by Ethier, the handoff. Franklin, far side now. Linder hands it back off. Stewart, Linder at the top of the key. Maybe got away with a shuffle, finds his way to the rack, hits it too hard. Here's Charles the other way, assessing the reads. Far corner, Ethier, that pass interrupted. I'm sure he'd like to have that pass back. British Columbia can hold for the final shot. That one no good off the hands of Franklin. Here comes the Malik Giuseppe Kitson. Two-handed jam, and that one had a little extra oomph on it.
That is exactly how Team Ontario is going to want to end off this quarter going into the fourth.
Malik Giuseppe Kitson, 3 straight points, one from the charity stripe, and then the run-out two-handed jam. Ontario trail by 4 heading into the fourth quarter of this 17U gold medal game against British Columbia. Here at the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center as we take another look.
Yep.
The block on one side, Ethier, and then the run out.
Absolutely, that pass there from Jordan Charles. Those long strides, defender knew he didn't even stand a chance against that one.
More action coming up right after the break.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love it. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That
You shift and in left hands, you finish.
Starting in Canada's Brown Parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Welcome back inside the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center. J.J. Evison alongside Haley Hopkinson for at least 10 more minutes of basketball here between British Columbia and Team Ontario. Ontario 22 second chance points to British Columbia 6.
That is definitely a strong suit of Team Ontario's, but still I feel like we have been able to see it better. British Columbia's kind of strategy on defense is just crowding that paint, having about 4 guys in there just all jumping at the same time, so it's whoever's going to be stronger at that.
2 Ontario players trying to reject that, Malik Giuseppe Kitson and Callum Smith. Callum Smith gets the hand on it right in front of the U15 gold medalist down on the baseline. Frank Linder with the attempt. Glogovic from 3, rim out. Malik Giuseppe Kitson wants it, takes it up the court. Now hands it off on the near side, Roberts. Moves downhill, dribbling left, 1-2 stepping, contact on the way up. Heads up play, Caleb Roberts is going to get to the free throw line.
And we are seeing Phoenix Wise out there. He does have the kind of
Confidence
risk.
of his...
Well, I'm more talking risk right here
Okay.
about fouling out. But, I mean, this is the time, really.
And the head coaching staff, or the coaching staff of Team Ontario, showing a little bit of confidence in him, allowing him to play at the line. The first, no good for Caleb Roberts. The second finds its way through the mesh. Ontario trail 3. Linder gives it up to Glogovic. Heinrichsen at the top, guarded by Ethier. Good work by Ethier to keep his feet moving. Deep three. Franklin, no. 2 white jerseys fighting for it. Smith comes away with it. Quickly up to Roberts. Roberts inside out dribble, goes downhill. Another downhill attack from Caleb Roberts, and another pair of free throws upcoming.
If that's the game they're going to have to play there, that's the game at the end of the day. The paint present from BC, it's very strong. It feels like there's not a great opportunity ever for that three-point shot because they move so quickly. But finding a lane is next to impossible for this Team Ontario team so far. And there hasn't been much adjustment to that. They're still driving, which is obviously great. You never want to give up on the game plan that works for you guys. But the score is tight here, and I feel like it's because Ontario isn't doing their offense to their full potential.
And how do you expect British Columbia to respond to these paint touches and scores for Team Ontario?
I think it's about just the basics, keeping your hands straight up, and I don't think they should move out of their paint because blocking off those lanes is what's really keeping them in this game right now, along with their offense.
Linder finds a 3 in front of the Ontario bench. Leads up to 4, British Columbia. This has been a back and forth game the entire time. British Columbia a quick lead at the first quarter, but storming right back was Ontario. Roberts has it. Giuseppe Kitson looks inside. Smith wanted it. There's nothing there. Kitson fading away, up, and that's good. Another tough bucket.
Absolutely. That's his strong suit, and against a really strong team like that, he can really show off his skill set.
Dorian Glogovic on the near side, guarded by Smith. This might be a mismatch. Glogovic looking to get in the paint, turns around, elevates. The jumper's good as he fades to the right. Ontario's chance to respond. They're giving Roberts time and space. That's a deep 3 off the front of the iron. Batted around at the top. British Columbia away with it. It's a 2-on-2. Torrin Franklin testing the hand. Roberts the other way. Ethier. 3's up. Off the mark. Out ahead of the pack is Henriksen. Glogovic's going to slow it down. Far side, Franklin. One more pass. That 3's good. Logan Stewart. All of a sudden, lead is up to 7 for British Columbia. Still lots of basketball to be played, but you're right, the adjustments from Team Ontario on the offensive side haven't been enough. There's Ethier working into the paint, kicks it out. Roberts, feet set from that spot he just missed. This time, it's nothing but net.
Having someone getting their three-point shot good right now is actually crucial to this game just to kind of combat BC's load of them that they're unloading on this Ontario team right now.
Smith gets a hand on it. Roberts out. It's a 2-on-1. Roberts and Giuseppe Kitson. Robert with the late handoff. Giuseppe Kitchen with the flush on Ontario. Storm back. 5 straight points. Malik Giuseppe Kitson bumping Jess with Phoenix Wise, getting tons of high fives from the teammates on his way back to the bench. Number 13 in white, really doing it all for Team Ontario.
Is there a better teammate to have in this situation? Caleb Roberts recognizing the 2-on-1 here. Looks like he's about to take it. Of course, passes it off, and the slam dunk. What more do you want?
Frank Linder saw the 2 steps, then moved over into the path. But what a heads-up handoff pass, Caleb Roberts. Can't say enough about the high IQ of these players here at this tournament.
Definitely.
It's been quite the showing of Canadian talent here in Toronto, as well as in Newfoundland and Labrador, where the girls are playing. We remind you, the gold medal winners, 15U and 17U women. Ontario, the 15U Ontario boys with gold as well. 17U Ontario looking to make it 4 golds for the province. British Columbia.
Never happened before.
British Columbia have a different idea.
Yeah. It's never happened before with all 4 of these Ontario teams winning. It would definitely be history and such a good year to do it, knowing Ontario is the host. BC, like I said, the only BC team represented in these gold medal matches, so they're obviously trying to disrupt this Team Ontario master plan here.
British Columbia have it in the backcourt. 6:30 remains, at least 6:30 remains in the 4th quarter. Ontario have been to overtime once. Jump stop. elevates, short rimmed. Wise comes away with it. Here's Roberts, another odd man rush. Roberts has Giuseppe Kitson to his left, uses the glass, and Caleb Roberts with a tough bucket. And Malik Giuseppe Kitson gets hit with a technical. Caleb Roberts, Giuseppe Kitson looking to have a conversation as we take another look.
We'll look right here. Caleb Roberts taking this one himself this time, and look at Malik Giuseppe Kitson screaming a little bit in someone's face. I mean, I understand refs have to do their job, but this is the championship game. Obviously, these guys are still developing, so I guess it is good to kind of nip those issues in the butt at this age, but still unfortunate for Team Ontario, not for BC.
6 minutes remains in the fourth quarter. British Columbia over the timeline in the nick of time. Torrin Franklin kicks it to the corner. It's Dorian Glogovic with an open look. Franklin gets the rebound. Glogovic again, second chance, fouled. That time Wise, and Phoenix Wise has fouled out of this contest. Dorian Glogovic led to the free throw line. 8 points on 2 of 8 shooting. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal in 22 minutes of action.
I'd say this is a breakout game for him, but they all have been so far. His shooting is absolutely insane.
So correction on the foul. It is on Phoenix Wise, however, it is his 4th. So
Okay.
Team Ontario fouls are as follows. 4 on Jordan Charles, 3 on Quinton Ethier, 4 on Phoenix Wise, 4 on Malik Giuseppe Kitson, 3 on Callum Smith.
Wow. Discipline, discipline, discipline is what needs to happen right now.
Here's Caleb Roberts calling up Quinton Ethier. Far side, right back. Roberts is left open. The 3 is good. We are knotted at 80.
I'm sure BC is able to recognize the amount of fouls adding up on the Team Ontario side. And a good strategy here for them is kind of trying to knock out some of these crucial players to Team Ontario to make this matchup a little easier for them in the final minutes.
Ethier wins the battle on the defensive side. Another 3. Caleb Roberts fouled. Foul is going to go on Dorian Glogovic. It is his 4th personal foul. Upcoming free throws for Caleb Roberts. 3 shots from the charity stripe. Caleb Roberts has taken over this 4th quarter for Ontario. He's not about to let his team lose without doing everything he possibly can on the court.
Absolutely. Those 3-pointers, they just seem to fall, but this whole game, he's definitely, you can just tell he's had his head in this game. This is what he's focusing on right now. We knew those shots were going to start to fall for somebody at some point, and it's him, and it's a good thing.
Good on the first 2. Now with a chance to put Ontario up 3 with 5 and change remaining in the 4th quarter. All eyes locked in on this game in this gymnasium. Standing room only, the way it should be.
Yeah.
Tyler Felt gives it up. Torrin Franklin moving downhill. Jump stop. No finger roll, no good. And Alex Muncie away with it. Caleb Roberts into the paint. Stops, kicks it out. Ethier. Uraz in the far corner. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Roberts wants it. Top side, moving downhill. Finds a lane. Left-handed scoop, no good. And out come British Columbia. Torrin Franklin gives it ahead. The shot rims in and out. Phoenix Wise corrals the rebound. Here's Caleb Roberts. Near side, slowly over the timeline as we approach the 4-minute mark of the 4th quarter. Ontario lead by 3. What an electric game. Caleb Roberts doesn't get the bounce. Phoenix Wise above everybody. The putback.
He's so important to this team. He's exactly like Jordan Charles. They might not always be the highest in scoring, but they're always having an effect on the court.
Here's Linder. That pass almost dropped. Franklin fouled on the scoop shot. So back to the free throw line for Torin Franklin. Foul gonna go on Caleb Roberts. That's his first personal foul. The only other players off of fouls are Benjamin Van Bulk, who we've yet to see, Isaiah Lukusa, who only has 2 minutes and 42 seconds played, and Miles Sadler, who hasn't seen a minute due to an injury in this tournament. Torin Franklin to bring it to within one possession. He does.
Caleb Roberts really taking charge in this fourth quarter. Ontario loves it. And this whole time, Quinton Ethier doing a great job of still being the communicator between these guys.
Ethier now on the far side, attacking the paint, fading away. Jimmy's off the board and corralled by British Columbia. Here it's Tyler Felt on the near side. Trapped. Pass. Alex Muncy. No one in front of him. Alex Muncy makes sure to finish the play. And Alex Muncy was an alternate for this team ahead of training camp. He's come in and given this team Ontario great minutes. He was one of 2 players selected to shut down Ryder English in Ontario's game against, wow. I don't even know if you can call that bank. That was top glass corner. Why? Hey, all points count, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was crazy. Anyways, going back to Alex Muncy, I think he's definitely the unsung hero of this tournament so far. He's just a defensive force to be reckoned with.
Caleb Roberts keeps from the free throw line. No. Who's there for the rebound? Phoenix Wise. And the foul will be called on the floor as we await the signal for who it was on. Logan Stewart called for the foul. And that's his fourth. 5 players in this ball game with 4 personal fouls. Phoenix Wise on the inbound pass. Tries to go up with it. Instead, turns it over. British Columbia out on the run. Torin Franklin, whip pass. Justin Heinrichsen tries to put the moves on Roberts. Roberts stays with him step for step. Now, Felt pushed out. Here comes Torin Franklin trying to find space. Ethier there with him the whole way. Better offense from Torin Franklin, and he's a killer.
You can't give him a centimeter of space. It's the combination of his entire game. He's so quick. The basketball IQ's there. The shooting is there. Every element of his game is in full effect tonight.
Caleb Roberts calls up Alex Muncy. And he dishes to Phoenix Wise. We're tied at 87. Wise down, no call. 1:40 left to play. British Columbia slowing it down over the timeline. Caleb Roberts gets a hand on it. Quinton Ethier comes away with it. Foul called. And Ontario head to the free throw line, as that is the 15th foul on British Columbia. Quinton Ethier, cool, calm, collected, walking to the charity stripe.
We'll get another look at this right here. Able to get his hand on it off of Caleb Roberts deflecting it. Justin Heinrichsen has been so great this game. Little errors like that, though, obviously sending his team into the bonus. It's difficult here, but if Team Ontario can really recognize this as their opportunity to really run that score up, as long as they can stay disciplined on the other side of that and stay strong and hands up in the paint, this could be great for them. But BC has played very disciplined this entire game on every end of the court, so I'm sure that they'll be good at this.
Linder finds his way to the paint. Slipping at the top was Stewart. Stewart keeps. Charles draped all over him. Now it's Charles on Torin Franklin. Franklin, sidestep. The 3 no good. Malik Giuseppe Kitson has the rebound. pushing the pace, far side, Alex Muncy gonna slow it down over the timeline as we approach 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. 17U gold medal game. Ontario lead British Columbia. Jordan Charles with the travel. Couldn't make up his mind. Great defense there. Tyler Felt stuck with him, stride for stride. And as Charles turned around to feed it to a teammate, he dragged his pivot foot.
It's definitely unfortunate, but they put him in there to do the main job, which was guarding Torrin Franklin, who was able to accomplish that. That bucket didn't go in, so that's an unfortunate error, but he did what he was meant to do.
Charles on the bench for the defensive possession, which turns into an offensive possession. Phoenix Wise battling two black jerseys. Alex Muncy inside. Contact made at the top. Justin Heinrichsen sends Alex Muncy to the line with a chance to make it a one-possession game, which it already is. I thought it was a two-possession game, and
it'll be a little more of a difficult possession game. Got to get that free or a contact on there.
What an exciting game. Happy to be on the call. JJ Everson, Haley Hopkinson here at the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center in York University's gymnasium. It's been a solid 6 days, a long 6 days, but a solid 6 days watching these rising stars in Canada basketball.
Totally. It's a great opportunity for all these young guys. It's also a great opportunity for us, so we are very thankful for Ontario basketball.
Alex Muncy misses on the first. You could hear pins and needles drop in this gymnasium. Quick head count, 500, 600 people?
I'd say more. Got to look at the room behind us as well. There's about 40 people in there, what?
7:42 local time. Alex Muncy. That one's good. Ontario lead 89-87. And the press is on. Muncy tight up on Glogovic. Quick footwork. Glogovic tries to get around. Glogovic. Fouls called on the near side, and everybody in disbelief. They say there's a push, so shooting two is Dorian Glogovic.
Of course, bringing in Jordan Charles once again to take on Torrin Franklin when they're in their offensive possession.
At the free throw line, Dorian Glogovic hasn't had the game he had hoped. 2 of 9 from the field, 10 points. And from the free throw line, he is perfect so far, 5 of 5. The gymnasium getting loud now. The first one's missed.
You guys can't see it, or maybe he creeped in a little bit on that screen, but Isaiah Hamilton with the massive celebration.
Trying to distract with Domino's pizza boxes, but Dorian Glogovic's eyes are locked on the hoop. The second misses as well. Malik Giuseppe Kitson snags the rebound. Ontario have possession up to 30 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Jordan Charles was built for this moment. Caleb Roberts off of Dorian Glogovic. Ontario retained possession. Shot clock is reset to 14, 26 on the game clock. And there's a timeout on the floor. Both teams going to want to talk this over, make sure that they're all on the same page in terms of how to play out this final stretch. These officials also having a word with each other how they want this game to come to an end. They need to be forced to make that call. They should let these players play out. I'm certain that's what they're talking about.
Definitely, especially just seeing no one wants to see a game end in free throws. That's where it would be heading right here. But Team Ontario in this fourth quarter has done a great job of kind of picking up the slack that they dropped off in the first half. I'm loving the rotation we're seeing right now. Alex Muncy deserves that court time, especially on offense. Seems like when they go on defense, though, Jordan Charles coming in, which I think is a fantastic matchup with Torrin Franklin. They're both so quick, so speedy, and obviously Jordan Charles is a massive three-point shooter. He knows the mentality that Torrin Franklin is going through when he sees that open net and gets a second of free space. So I think these matchups are perfect, and this is a nail-biter.
Torrin Franklin has been a killer in this game. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. leading the charge for British Columbia. 26.3 left on the clock, 14 on the shot clock, side out of bounds in the offensive half for Team Ontario. It's Caleb Roberts on the side as British Columbia break the huddle. Justin Heinrichsen, Torin Franklin, Tyler Felt, Frank Linder also on the court. Another inbound, out of bound possession, last touched by British Columbia, though they will protest to no avail. Charles has it. And they call a jump ball, possession arrow favoring Ontario. So that's going to eat up a little bit of clock. And because it's a jump ball, as we get another look.
Yep, just take a look right here. Jordan Charles doing a good job of whipping his body around. BC seemed to call for a travel there, but he had his hands gripped firmly around that basketball. It was a jump ball.
Caleb Roberts, near side, corner. Malik Giuseppe Kitson gets his defender in the air, attacks the rim, up and under, off the backboard, a little bit of mustard. British Columbia need a timeout. Stuck four here. Malik Giuseppe Kitson showing the Ontario jersey to the crowd here in attendance. And Malik Giuseppe Kitson has been everything this team needs.
Let's get another look at this. The dish from Caleb Roberts. Kitson makes his defender think he's going for that three, goes in, reverse layup right there. I mean, I personally was like, oh no, is he gonna go for the dunk right now? It's too risky, but he didn't. Basketball IQ. This guy knows what he's doing. He's been so dominant in this game, and it feels like every really important or turning point in a game, he is right there and usually the one starting it. So fantastic game for him.
Malik Giuseppe Kitson has a lot of length, and right there he used all of it, outstretching his right arm, a little bit of mustard on the ball, nice touch off the backboard, and man, that's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Totally. And it's so good to see there. We've seen a lot of players going for that pump fake three in that corner, pushing their back foot out of bounds right there. So to not see that as well, definitely something that has been a cause for concern for every team, it seems like. But that was a perfect possession right there. And we're going to see how BC can counter in this one.
Team Ontario, seconds away from making history. Never at a Nationals have they gone claimed all 4 gold medals. British Columbia trail by 4, 13.2 on the clock. Torin Franklin's going to be the one to shut down for Ontario. He has it on the sideline. Don't lose the inbounder. Franklin right here. Frank Linder. Linder. Sidestep three. No. Alex Muncy with the rebound that may have just sealed the victory. And how about Alex Muncy from alternate player to contributing player to really making it happen down the stretch in the gold medal game?
It's just so good to see that he's just a pure basketball player and one of those players that must have had come over. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous right now.
Take a breath.
Alex Muncy overcoming that position as being an alternate. Some people would have a really negative outlook on that, saying, oh, this team doesn't want me. They don't think I'm good enough. He's more the prove it mentality. Seems like a little bit quieter guy on that court because he puts his head down and get to work.
Over 800 people tuned in on Canada Basketball's YouTube Live for the remaining seconds of this gold medal match. Alex Muncy drains the free throw. Much love from the team. British Columbia needs some sort of miracle here. Currently stuck 5. Muncy with the opportunity to make it 6. Composed. Muncy drains it. Then celebrates with the quiet shush to the crowd. Torin Franklin, guarded by Roberts. Franklin, deep 3. That's off of everything. Swallowed up. Quinton Ethier, the final buzzer goes. Ontario have done it. History has been made at the National Championships. Canada Basketball Ontario, all 4 gold medals. 15U girls and boys, 17U girls and boys. The fans in attendance on their feet, giving this team Ontario its flowers. Haley, walk me through your final thoughts. How did this team get this done in such a resilient game?
This is so exciting. We heard from every single Team Ontario team about dog mentality, defense wins championships, and every single team has completely demonstrated that, especially looking at this U17 team here, to be able to battle back from that deficit because they know the final goal, they know what is expected of them. Ontario excellence was something that was brought up so many times when talking to them before Nationals came along, and I think it is safe to say everybody wearing a Team Ontario jersey has lived up to that expectation.
Nike's slogan at the Atlanta Olympics was, "You don't win silver, you lose gold." But this team, Ontario, won gold here
Absolutely.
tonight.
And just to add on to all 4 teams winning gold, all 4 teams going undefeated in nationals as well. I think everyone a part of Ontario basketball, all the staff working there that put on this fantastic nationals can really take a bow because this has just been so successful for Ontario.
If you want to hear from the players and the coaches from all Team Ontario, head to Ontario Basketball's YouTube page. Interviews have been conducted after each day. We're going to step aside for a quick break. Closing ceremonies coming to you from the main gymnasium here at the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center in just a few short minutes. We will award the MVPs. We will talk about all the all-star performances. We'll get a few words from Ontario basketball. We'll get a few words from Canada basketball. We'll break it all down coming up in a few minutes' time. Stick on this channel. We'll have it all for you shortly.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love that's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
He shift in the left hand, you finish.
Start leading in Canada's Brown Parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love that's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
He shift in the left hand, you finish.
Start leading in Canada's Brown Parents.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Will it ever be plenty? I love. Will it ever be?
I love
Will it ever win? After the wedding, will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever win? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever win? After the wedding, will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever win? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever be wedding? Will it ever win?
Will
Will it ever win? After the play, will it ever be play? Will it ever play? Will it ever be play? Will it ever win?
Will
get this, closing ceremonies underway. J.J. Evison alongside Haley Hopkinson, Jackson, Midori, Cole, Hayes. We have been the broadcasting team. Did I get that wrong? Hales. I knew there was
Close enough.
Hayes, Hales. We have been your broadcasting team throughout this 15U, 17U National Championships award ceremony just getting underway. We're going to have some words from some Ontario basketball bigwig CEO Claude Nemhard's here, along with President Ryan Xavier. Jackson's going to give us the lowdown on that. Canada Basketball's Director of Membership and Domestic Programs, Sandy McIntosh, also here going to speak. We'll get that story from Cole. Just quickly, thoughts here, Jackson. How was this week for you, and what about the talent on the floor that you saw?
Such an amazing experience and an honor, honestly. It's been a great week, both from U15 and U17 basketball, just talent all over the floor. Everybody traveled far away for this moment.
Cole, anything to add?
No, yeah, just to add on to Jackson, it was a great week. It was amazing. I had lots of fun. Got to watch a lot of great basketball and see a lot of great basketball players.
Haley, we got the chance to call that gold medal game. Ontario, the clean sweep, all 4 gold medals. Walk me through the emotions that you saw here pouring out in this gymnasium.
I think all week it's just been pouring out. We got the chance to speak with Team Ontario for Media Day. We know that they've been talking about this Ontario level of excellence. Every single Ontario team has hit that. I got the chance to talk to the girls over in Newfoundland as well. It was such a great experience being able to talk to them. They all just kept talking about that dog mentality. I love hearing that from them, but as well as this boys team, they've just been absolutely so dominant. Not one Team Ontario team lost a game throughout nationals, and there's not much better you can do than that.
Just to recap, the 15 and 17U bronze medalists, both teams coming from Alberta. 15U gold medalists, Ontario taking down Quebec in the 17U gold medal game, which we just wrapped up. Ontario beating British Columbia. A handful of great performances. Cole, you were here in the building for that final game. Which player stuck out to you from either side in that gold medal 17U game?
Oh man, in that gold medal, there's so many great players, so many guys that really stepped up, especially for Team Ontario. I'm going to have to give it to Giuseppe Kitson, who was down the stretch one of the best players. Jelly Lays, a bunch of tough buckets, taking a charge late on there, was really going for his squad. As well as on the other side of the ball there for British Columbia, Franklin on the other end. Almost a 30 bomb for him, a barrage of threes I've seen. He looked like Steph Curry out there.
A lot of great performances, and we'll get to handing out awards, MVPs, first and second team All-Stars. Right now, Claude Nemhard is addressing the crowd. Jackson's going to give us that story once he's wrapped up. It's been an unbelievable week in terms of personal development for these players and coaches, and everybody who tuned in now knows what level Canadian basketball is at. And Haley, you mentioned it. We have to continue to remind ourselves these are 15U and 17U kids, and some of these 17U kids starting to field offers from NCAA schools.
I just throughout research for the girls and boys U15 teams, when I'm seeing that they have, some of them have 6 D1 offers, it's just so fantastic to see, especially since we know that what the OSBA, what the OBA, what Ontario basketball can do for these players to help them develop them even more. It's so exciting to see them at this level where they're already so talented, but can grow into these NBA, WNBA caliber players.
Sandy McIntosh on the mic now from Canada Basketball. Cole's going to give us that story as we bring back in Jackson. Jackson, give us a little bit of insight on what Claude Nemhard, Ontario Basketball CEO, had to say to this crowd in attendance.
Well, JJ kept it short and sweet, said he was really proud, and all the players have a bright future, which is true. And Xavier noted as well that it was full of unmatched talent. Nonetheless, good collaboration from not only the fans, but staff and players really made this whole tournament.
We got to give a pat on the back, obviously, to the volunteers, the PA announcers, the people sweeping the floors, the camera people, the entire production crew here at York University. Nick and his team, they did a fantastic job accommodating us this entire week.
Even just having the people from York, the host school right here, them kind of helping make this process a lot smoother for everybody there. That was the key thing. Everyone's working hard to make this an enjoyable and smooth experience for these players.
So following these addresses from both Canada Basketball and Ontario Basketball, we will hand out medals to the teams that medaled. And what I'm loving about the views from the court right now is just the support for each other. A lot of these kids are in the same boat, right? They're navigating their life through basketball as they grow up here. It's something special to watch, and being able to connect with a couple of these players on a personal level has been absolutely fantastic. Jackson, you were in the field house for the entirety of the week until today. What are some memorable games that stand out to you? I know you had an overtime thriller to call.
Oh man, British Columbia against Quebec semifinals U15 ended up going Quebec's way 86-83, and it was just an absolute nail biter. I want to highlight Joe Linder, leads the whole tournament in steals, and man, it was just a force defense.
What about that Ontario-Alberta game, 17U, that one in overtime in the Fieldhouse gym? The energy palpable, and when that 15U team came in, I mean, man, they put a little bit of oomph into the step of the 17. They needed to show out, right? And so they were facing that loss, but ended up coming away victorious and to win that gold medal.
In that game, ended up being 76-70 for Team Ontario, but they were well battle-tested. I mean, Alberta was up most of the game by 6-7 points, and it seemed Ontario wasn't going to come back. But thanks to Liam Matacaro getting fouled out, helped Ontario in favor, and they prevailed.
A lot of good competition here and in Newfoundland on display. We want to thank the organizers, Ontario Basketball, Canada Basketball, all the officials for putting in a good week's work. Right now, plaques being handed out to Claude Nemhard from a member of Canada Basketball. Let's see if we can bring Cole back in and give us, some sights and sounds from the court. What happened there, Cole?
Hey, I'm back. Sandy McIntosh just finished speaking here. He spoke a lot about the growth of the game in Ontario. Spoke about something that's never happened before here at the championships. A team from the Northwestern Territories.
At this time, we would like to welcome
the championships last night. We talked a little bit about the referees as well. Spoke about how they've had a hard week going through all these games. Lots and lots of work for the referees all this week. So thank them for their help around the block here, as well as thanking a legend of the game, 40 years, guys, Doug Hartford, a man from Newfoundland and Labrador who's been working inside the basketball scene. Just retired today. 40 years he's been working around the league here in Canada, and helped grow the game. As like we've seen here, the 15U, the 17U, this is the game right here. This is the growth of the game. A lot of these guys will be playing for Team Canada and Team Ontario as the years go by, and that's what Sandy McIntosh really hammered down in his speech.
Here's Alberta now getting their bronze medals. It's first the U15 team going to accept their medals, shake the hands of all the bigwigs here, and what a performance that was in that victory, Haley.
Alberta was a team that definitely, even before we even got to nationals, just through research, really stuck out to me. They've got a very experienced team on this U17 team. They had a ton of those guys going to that U17 FIBA World Cup. Watching them play was just really something special. The dynamic of that team, it looks like they've been playing with each other for like 15 decades, which obviously they're 17. But it's just so exciting to see a team like that who didn't place in the top two, but still such a talented team, and that can really speak to how talented all these teams are here. It's just been so exciting to see Alberta, and I'm sure that they'll continue to grow and they'll be back here.
You mentioned Liam Matacaro, 35 points, but another eye-popping statistic, 17 rebounds in that game. Wow.
You mentioned rebounds, and during the whole tournament, Matacaro second altogether in rebounds, and he's a guard, so he was absolutely all over the floor and the primary option for this Alberta side, and you have to tip your hat off to him.
Now going to accept their medals, U15 silver medalists. They fell to Ontario in that final 90-67. They came out swinging in that fourth quarter, just wasn't enough. Led by Victor Vincent, the big man down low, getting it done, creating problems.
Yeah, Victor Vincent down low, making it happen for this team. Quebec ended up finishing second, falling short, but what a performance from this team. We've seen all week. One of the better teams, Victor Vincent. One of the better performances I've seen all week from some of the players down here. He's one of those guys that's able to create down low, but also able to get his shots off from beyond the arc. Do that ever so well. In the games beforehand this week, today didn't really help out. Didn't work out for him. Missed a couple shots as the Quebec side lost on Ontario. The gold medal matchup, but nonetheless, the Quebec side can head their heads high, right?
Absolutely, everyone from Quebec. Great performances from the entire province. It's just exciting to see, especially since coming into this Nationals, it was a big topic of discussion, this rivalry with Ontario, and them coming into this really stepping up to the plate, and in actual Ontario too, just kind of proving that they're a team that's going to be here for a while and continue to be a dominant squad.
Yeah, I think everybody who was anticipating this tournament recognizes that Quebec's always in contention. Such a big province, big on basketball. Montreal specifically, I mean, it's growing so much there. Benedict Mathurin, Lou Dort, these NBA names also getting time with the men's national team in Paris. They didn't get the result they were looking for there, but maybe 8 years down the line, some of these players from Quebec will be able to contribute.
Another aspect of life about Quebec's game is during that overtime win against British Columbia, when that final buzzer sound, not a single smile, because they knew that they could win. They hold such high expectations for themselves, which I absolutely love.
Also, just a shout out to the Quebec girls teams, both U15 and U17, claiming those silver medals. Shout out to them. They had some fantastic games, and I know specifically for that U17 battling against Ontario, they really performed in both of their games against them.
It's now Team Ontario's turn to collect their medals, the gold medal that will hang around their necks, a bond created amongst these players and coaching staff that will last a lifetime at such an impressionable age. How they'll remember this tournament for years to come, I mean, it's something incredible.
Yeah, one of my favorite teams to watch here in this tournament, JJ. This U15 Team Ontario side it's fun, it's flashy. What do the kids like to say? Aura. They got aura towards them. They got confidence towards them, and I really like the way they play. They really showed out here, went undefeated today, went undefeated throughout the week in this tournament, fully deserved their gold medal.
Every game a new player of the game for the U15 team. Today's player of the game, Jackson, you thought it could have been the big man number 7.
Isaiah Hamilton, man, I mean, he's been playing extremely well during this playoffs, and talk about that highlight dunk in the semifinals. I mean, that's just going all over Instagram. Certainly a talent. Find himself in some foul trouble in the finals, but when he was getting minutes, man, kept on getting those points.
Another person in foul trouble in the semifinal yesterday, Jordan Charles. Looks like a lot of room for growth for him coming up in this next year.
Definitely, but man, he's got a good foundation going so far. He just the ability to, even if his shooting is not there, just to have such an impact on that floor and cause so much havoc for the other team, whether it's with turnovers, just jumping in their face, throwing their game off. No one can play comfortably against Jordan Charles.
Assistant coach Kevin Jeffers having an extra long hug there with Claude Nemhard. He's been a part of Ontario basketball for who knows how long, probably since he came out the womb. You know, many different pockets of Toronto. He's been able to travel the world through basketball. Was in Portugal earlier this year, has multiple trips to Italy, and that's just a testament to what hard work, dedication, and leadership can do in this game. You treat the game the right way, it's going to repay you back tenfold.
I love how everyone's giving love to the trainer, who also just got his gold medal. Well deserved, because these guys, the way they're throwing their body on the line for every play, he did some hard work, so credit to him.
Lastly, but most certainly not least, Yusri Salia, head coach of the U15 team. Outstanding job coaching these guys through a very intense tournament, just one day off. Film review. It was a work trip for these guys, right? They come, they play, they go to shoot around, they rest, it's film, it's 24 hours.
Yeah, it's really starting for these guys to start to learn the process of what it means to be a real basketball player. Tournaments like this will really get your head on a swivel here and make you understand what is needed to be at the top of your ability day in and day out. And I think these boys are understanding that as the time goes on here, as gold medals are being handed out here and you're watching everyone walk by, you're seeing that growth, you're getting that experience day in and day out.
Now we're watching U17 Alberta, 2 bronze medals for both U17 and U15. What a showing. that was for the Berta side.
Three-headed spear, TJ Wall, Dangan Gore, Patrick Anamale in that final game. 33 points for Wall, 18 for Gore, 12 for Anamale. And TJ Wall was the only one without a double-double. The other two double digits in rebounds. Like, these three players, if they can continue to play together, they'll develop chemistry that could see this Alberta program get pushed up another level.
Totally, and TJ Wall, Patrick Anamale, both two of those guys I was talking about earlier on that World Cup team. Just the way that they all raised the level of playing in that semifinals game, Patrick Anamale went down in the first quarter, and since then it just looked like their game was really rattled, kind of having that intrusive thought that maybe he wouldn't be able to return. Now, he was able to return, didn't come away with the result they wanted, but them three are going to take the Canada basketball name far.
And talking about raising levels, even prior to the playoffs, Alberta played Team Ontario, the team that won, and they ended up coming back in the fourth quarter, had a chance to win it with a free throw at the buzzer, couldn't get it to fall, but could have been the only team to beat Team Ontario, so hats off to them.
Aside from the playoffs, I think that was definitely one of the games of nationals overall.
It's the boys from Canada's West Coast, British Columbia, up to accept their silver medals now, and we just witnessed quite the gold medal game. Ontario able to hang on, but it was BC with the first punch, a 29-18 score in the first quarter. Oh boy, what a performance from Franklin.
Franklin, 5 for 10 beyond the arc, 50%. What much more can you ask for? He played his butt off, straight up, and a big performance from him. Unfortunately, couldn't get the job done, but certainly can hold his head high.
And what I like so much about Franklin Jackson is not just his spot-up shooting ability that we've seen so much this year, it's his ability to create separation away from his defender and find that open space that finds him multiple times in that final gold medal matchup. He found space, whether it was a step back or a hesitation. He created that separation, found the open three, and almost had 30 points.
It's so true, because really all he needs is that 1 inch of space, and he can pull that shot from anywhere on that court.
You can't go overlook the impact of the big man felt, and obviously Frank Linder stepping up big in some crucial moments. A complete team, top to bottom, size, length, speed, IQ. There's no reason why they shouldn't have been in this gold medal game. They had a great week with basketball, and that silver medal, it's not quite the gold, but it pushes you to be a little bit better, and that's what this BC team needs. It's time now for the final gold medal handout. The 17U team, the last team to win gold medal amongst all Ontario teams, and getting their flowers, rightfully so, leading things off for Ontario. The one player who hadn't played all week due to injury, Miles Sadler, but kept the spirit alive, was part of the uplifting bench throughout every single game.
Definitely. It's so great to have someone like that on your team who's just, their job this week is to be a supporter.
Talking about players and support, I mean, Giuseppe Kitson, what a performance in the finals. 8 for 9 from the field, ended up getting a reverse layup to expand the lead to 4 points, which proved to be so pivotal as Ontario would go down and knock some free throws, ended up winning this one.
What stood out for me from this 17U Ontario team was nothing really on the court. It was their camaraderie off the court. Walking through these halls between games, seeing these guys talk to each other, the way they talk to each other, the way they interact with each other on the bench, on the court. You can see they are a family. You can see that this means a lot to them. And you can see right now as they receive their medals how much it's going to mean to them.
There is something nice to say about every single one of these guys. Today, Caleb Roberts and Alex Muncy really stood out to me by having, I would say, their best game in my opinion. And just some of these guys really staying consistent throughout the entire time. Looking at Phoenix Wise, Quinton Ethier, Sammy Uras, and of course Jordan Charles. They've just been such a great team because they lay the foundation with their just kind of talent, and then they let people kind of step up and take it to the next level, and it's been a different person every single game, and that's what really makes this team so special.
Haley, you said it perfectly. Even when Jordan Charles was getting a little bit of foul trouble in that final game, Caleb Roberts had to come off the bench. He stepped it up, finishing double digits in points. So many options and guards and forwards, and this team is just so complete and so fun to watch.
Another thing I want to add about Jordan Charles is he figured out in this tournament how to play through adversity. It's easy to get down on yourself, especially as a perfectionist, the way that Dwayne Ramage talked about him. To turn that switch to something positive, focus on a different aspect of the game if your shot's not falling, or if you get into foul trouble, a true testament to his level of excellence. Again, he was part of that U17 Canada team at the FIBA World, so a lot of growth for a guy like Charles, and you love to see him come away with the gold medal.
Yeah, Charles is an astute scorer of basketball in that U17 FIBA tournament. You mentioned 32 points against Argentina. He goes ballistic when he wants to. In this tournament, he, like you said, faced adversity, found a way to be impactful on both sides of the basketball and helping his teammates out on the defensive and offensive side of the ball.
Team captains of the U15 Team Ontario and U17 Team Ontario to come forward.
So the captains for U15 Ontario and U17 Ontario head up to accept the plaques. That will be Kenyon St. Louis and Quinton Ethier. Looks like Jordan Charles is going to join him along with Isaiah Hamilton. So the captain and co-captains, Phoenix Wise stands behind Quinton Ethier to accept that plaque. Pictures being taken with the three bigwigs from Canada and Ontario basketball.
And how huge were those three in the matchup for U15 Ontario? Isaiah Hamilton, Kenyon St. Louis, and Jordan Fisher, majority of the points there for them. And they're going to hold that plaque up with their heads held high.
It doesn't surprise me at all that those are the captains that step forward, and Jordan Fisher really set the tone for the U15 squad during Nationals, being the player of the game for that first game. Those three are going to really do a lot for Canada basketball.
All right, Quinton Ethier and Phoenix Wise have two of the most infectious smiles, and a lot of these guys on the 17U team smile too often, so happy to see those two up there accepting that plaque as we get prepared to name the MVP and first and second team All-Stars from both the 17U and 15U tournaments.
Supports the fueling of the future of basketball talent in Canada.
This week has absolutely flown by. I don't know about you three, but I'm thinking back to the game we just called, and it's getting blended with a handful of others.
Oh, that's been happening to me all week so far. All these games are really meshing in one another, but we're having a good time. It's a great experience for us. Enjoying every moment of it.
I've been staying at York in one of the staff residences, and I feel like all I do is just be in this gym, and that's what I want to do. The dorms are great, but that's just for sleeping, and I love being in this facility.
Well, you beat all of us here every single day. Probably ran into the gym around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, before 9 o'clock, because the first tip-off was 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We called a couple of those games.
Curl my hair, and I'm out the door.
See, I don't have that problem.
It's quick and easy.
For those of you who can't see us because we're not on camera, I don't have hair. By choice, bald by choice, guys. BBC.
Let's go.
The anticipation building here.
We have number 5, Donovan Bilodeau.
Donovan Bilodeau, the first award recipient.
One of the Bilodeau brothers, an all-around player, shifty, and very good defensively as well.
Definitely had a big impact on that Quebec team.
Another second-team All-Star, well-deserving of it, Terry Ogbede from Manitoba.
He just absolutely destroyed the court on each side. He just had such a uplifting spirit and just such a big impact for the Manitoba squad.
Just so physical, and on that quick step, you really can't stop him. He's so hard to stop. And speaking of hard to stop, Elijah Mantley, we watched him play today. 5 3-pointers. I mean, just a specialist beyond the arc.
Yeah, specialist beyond the arc. I want to go back to Terry Ogbede. Led this tournament in rebounds, averaging 8 here. And you mentioned before, Jackson, his presence down low. We watched him earlier on. He was getting everything he wants down low. A couple spin moves, a couple close moves, a couple of little drops in, and it was great from Ogbede, fully deserving of this second-team All-Star.
Second-team All-Star from Alberta, Mikhail Francis, up to accept the award.
And the final
Alberta big men certainly Takaro's second option, and well deserved.
The last second-team All-Star, Joe Linder from British Columbia, one of the Linder brothers here. Obviously, Frank Linder plays up a level. Joe Linder, great tournament.
Oh man, Joe Linder had a extremely well semifinals against Quebec. 21 points. Ended up leading the U15 tournament in steals, and he was just snatching up every ball he could.
Yeah, 4 steals for Joe Linder, as well as watching this game, a flurry of threes and offensive action for him. The second team All-Star nod.
Coming up first, from British Columbia, number 21, Tyler Bell.
Second team All-Stars for the 17U tournament, Tyler Felt, number 21, the big man from BC, who had an impactful final.
He absolutely did. His presence in that paint was so fantastic, especially in that gold medal game, where really being a massive struggle for Callum Smith and anybody who tried to enter into that paint. Team Ontario's team revolves a lot around driving into the net, and he just made it an absolute problem for him and all nationals.
How about Magnus Carlos, number 2 from Manitoba, putting on a show each and every game. Quick, shifty, gotta love the way he plays.
His threes were dangerous all throughout nationals. He's another one of those guys that if you give him any little bit of space, he will shoot and it will probably go in.
Up next, we have number 13 from Alberta.
One of our favorites combined. I know we all like this player from Alberta, Patrick Anamale.
This is so well deserved. He played his heart out there.
Yeah, one of my favorite players to watch in this tournament this week so far. Big man down low, loves to get dirty and loves to get rough down there in the post, not afraid of getting a little bit contact on him, and also can stroke it from 3 as well. We saw a couple of times Steve Jackson.
And the final member of the under-17 second team is the man all the way from Quebec. It's number 3.
Callan Jameer Leaf with the final nod on the second team All-Stars. Obviously, Ben Dale from Nova Scotia, they had to leave early, but Ben Dale, let's talk about Ben Dale quickly while Leaf gets his flowers. Rebounding genius at the guard position.
An absolute pure point guard. You think he's pass first, but averaged 18 points. He can really do it all. Shorter for his size, but man, don't doubt him on the offensive glass.
What I loved about him is him coming off of screens. He's so quick. His first step is way too quick for any defender to really get to him. Just what creates his space, how he's able to find teammates.
And then just going back to Callan Jameer Leaf right there, he did such a fantastic job facilitating that ball throughout the very talented Quebec team. Also looking to get himself some amazing looks.
Jordan Fisher, the first name to be called for the U15 First Team All-Stars, number 11 Ontario. A challenging tournament for him in terms of having to work through fouls, having to work through tough competition.
Big man causes big problems down low in the paint. Standing 6'7", just entering high school. I mean, oh my goodness, what a force he is.
And he really set that pace early for this Team Ontario game right in that first game.
Another Ontario player, Isaiah Hamilton, deserving that honor of being on the first team All-Star.
Led his team in points in the finals, and I mentioned earlier his dunks, man. He just catches it one-handed so perfectly. So many one-handed dunks I've seen from him. His athletic ability is just unmatched.
Yeah, but his strength and size, and also his length is, I think, my favorite part of him. His ability on the defensive end to shot block as well as contest shots at a great rate. He's one of my favorite defenders I've seen so far this year.
Another big man deserving of this nod, Victor Vincent, working down low, stroking it from 3. Obviously still polishing his game, but it's developing quite well.
Yeah, what an efficient shooter Victor Vincent is. Today in the final matchup, didn't get the stroke really going. Hit 2 threes in that final, but nonetheless, throughout this week, we've seen him really pull it from beyond the arc and down low, been able to get whatever he wants. He had a monster game in that semifinals, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Great game from him and very deserving of
British Columbia.
Jason Ikani from British Columbia getting the 4th spot on the first team All-Star in the 15U side.
Another wing player that is so great at shooting the 3-ball as well as getting down low.
For me, it's his defensive game. I mean, he finished 2nd in steals in the tournament, and these BC guys really know how to force turnovers, and it's so impressive to watch.
The final spot on the first team All-Stars from Alberta with a 35-17 performance in the bronze medal game. Liam Mitakaro, Jackson, one of your favorites.
Man, not one of my favorites. The favorite, and if Alberta went to the finals, even if they lost, this guy, for me, was the MVP. I mean, 35-point double-double. We mentioned it before, 17 rebounds, but he also had 4 steals and 2 blocks in that bronze medal game. It is all Mitakaro, and you see him drop the Gatorade bottle, but certainly did not drop the bomb with his performance all week.
Is that a water bottle?
It looks like a mini. Well, it must be. What do you call those big Gatorade things? It's just it's not a
A
bottle.
Gatorade bucket.
A
Gatorade bucket, and he is a bucket.
Yeah, he is a bucket.
He's a bucket.
Oh my God.
We move along. 17U first team All-Stars.
All the way from Ontario, it's number 7, Quinton Evans.
Quinton Ethier gets the first spot. He's been a beaming light of positivity. The connection, the glue for Team Ontario 17U. I mean, what a rising star.
Rising star and such a three-point specialist. He's such a beautiful three-point shot. I don't know how to describe it. Reminds me of Klay Thompson. Such a beautiful smile as well.
This is teammate from
Another Ontario player, Malik Giuseppe Kitson, the walking highlight. You could take just all the plays from this game and put it into a 30-second pack, voice that over, and he'd be loving it.
Absolutely. He was so dominant. When he gets one of those big plays, it doesn't only energize him, it energizes the entire team. So when he's having one of those strong games, when he's throwing down a massive monster dunk, it really helps out this entire squad.
He got so excited, he got himself a tech in that gold medal matchup after the dunk there.
And I don't think that was the first one of nationals for him either.
Definitely was not.
Oh yeah, no, he hung on the rim a little bit too long in one of those games and got teed up.
Making his way to the table now, number 13 from British Columbia, Justin Heinrichsen. Great performance, good shooter, can get back on D, long hands in the passing lanes.
He played 39 minutes in the finals. So Mr. No Rest he is, and just absolutely impressive stuff from him. His stamina truly unmatched.
From Team Alberta.
Team Alberta, Dangor, the length, the speed, the IQ. Boy, what a tournament from Dangor.
I mean, if Jackson gets to say one of his favorite players, I do too, and that is him. Watching him play was just one of the most exciting things. He just has such a great foundation for basketball, and it looks like he could already compete with some of these massive colleges and everything like that. He does have offers, and it makes so much sense.
We'll get to see him next year at Fort Erie, right?
Yes.
So we'll keep our finger on the pulse of Dangor, final team member, first team All-Star 17U, number 5, Promise Landu, flashy player, good shoe selection, by the way. Love the shoes he was representing here at the tournament. He's a thorn in the side for every opponent.
Definitely, he makes every team really have to work around him. He also is so good at just finding space and pulling up from anywhere on that court. He's a very talented player.
So that finishes the All-Star selections, 15U and 17U first and second teams, as we give them another round of applause here in this gymnasium and move our way slowly towards the MVP awards.
As a proud mobility partner of Canada Basketball, Toyota's partnership with Canada Basketball represents their collaborative and collective commitments to enhancing mobility and movements for all through vehicles, basketball experiences, and more. Toyota is excited to be the presenting partner of the MVP Awards, giving to the top performing athletes in the national championships tournaments. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. Canada Basketball and Toyota Canada are excited to award the under 15 athletes. Can we get a round of the drum roll once again?
The drum roll begins.
Here we go.
Toyota presenting the MVP award. U15 MVP from Team Ontario, Kenny St. Louis.
JJ, you and I were talking about it earlier. May not have had the best stat sheet or scored the most points on the team, but it's those deflections, it's the urgency, and it's the leadership that brings home the MVP for St. Louis, and a double-double in the finals as well. I mean, just a pure leader and well deserved.
He's been a leader since a young age. He's been around gymnasiums. He's grown up in this gym. When he was young, he would correct the older players on play style, rotations, movement, all that kind of stuff. He has quite the career ahead of him. Moving on to the 17U MVP, from Ontario, number 5, Jordan Charles.
That is so well deserved.
I mean, Jordan had an up and down tournament. Started with a 33-point performance.
Started with a 33-point performance and faced adversity his second game, turnover the ball 13 times. But I mean, that's just being battle tested. And he's so nonchalant on the court, but you can see that he plays with so much passion, so fresh, so fast, and he is truly the anchor to this U17 side.
I think that also contributed to him winning MVP here. Usually he is the main option on this Team Ontario side. He's the main scorer on this team. But this week, like you mentioned before, he went through adversity. He wasn't able to score the basketball that he's except for that first game. He was able to still be a contributor, win MVP here, and make a huge impact in that gold medal matchup.
In talking to Sammy Uraz and Quinton Ethier about what this team is, he said it's a bunch of killers who are trying to find out their spot on this team, and every game that changes, right? So especially for a guy like Jordan Charles, where he can impact the game in 7 to 8 categories, alongside being one of the best cheerleaders when he's on the bench. I mean, well-deserved for the MVPs, the first and second team All-Stars. Final thoughts around the horn before we sign off.
I thought it was a great tournament. I thought thank you to York University for hosting. Thank you to Canada Basketball for starting up this tournament. And thank you to you guys for giving me this experience. It was a great weekend. Sorry, great week. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed the experience.
Myself, Jackson, I'm going to take it short and sweet. I mean, great opportunity, a true honor to work with Canada Basketball. It goes from the staff, the fans, the players, getting a chit-chat with them, and so much talent, bright future, and hope to work here sometime in the future as well.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you for the incredible opportunity, and I just think it was so special to be a part of witnessing the real future of Canada Basketball.
Again, we want to thank Nick and his production team, the camera folks who helped out this entire week. It was a great final production. Not much more can be said. What a fantastic week. We finally get a day of rest tomorrow.
Let's go. But this was such a rewarding experience, and worth the hard work to watch all of them work harder.
Absolutely. That wraps it up here from the Tate McKenzie Athletic Center at York University's main gymnasium. Thanks so much for being with us all week. Enjoy the rest of your summer, folks. Hopefully we get the chance to chat with you on the next one. Thanks so much.